Hello and welcome to another edition of the Percussion Instruction Podcast. What we've been going over is we've been going over different exercises for the shaker. This is part 2 of that, and what we're going to do in this episode is just some exercise incorporating the conga with the shaker and different techniques for the shaker on top of what we've already gone over. Now you notice I still have here some practice pads that we're going to use so we can focus on our exercises on sort of a rudimentary level. Okay, the shaker. Again, we've been using the minor shaker, and you notice how I've been holding it as in previous with the 2 fingers here and the thumb, and resting against the other 2, ring finger and pinky finger here. That's just my way of holding the minor shaker so that I can get the most out of my wrist action. Now, if I wanted to incorporate the shaker with playing the pads, here's a couple exercises. Now let me break it down on a practical level with what's happening as far as independence is concerned. For me, I just feel like, after playing and practicing it, that it's natural that once this movement comes in and I'm doing the shaker pattern, that's locked in for me. If I hear the beat, once I got this going and I know in my mind that this is where that needs to be, it's almost like an automatic lock. And I can go ahead and begin to solo with my right hand, doing different things, playing bass, open, slap. But it's not fair for me to just explain it like that. Okay, once this is locked in, that's it. Because for some, that may be a little bit difficult, because once I get to do this and this hand comes in and I'm listening to the different musicians, all of a sudden I focus more on here, and then this begins to do the exact same thing that my other hand is doing. So I'm going to explain it on a very basic level, exactly what's happening. Maybe that might give, if anybody is having a hard time with this or wants some ideas, how to incorporate my hands, including my feet maybe even, on top of this pattern. We're going to call this shaker pattern almost like the ostinato, the steady tempo that at times is going to be not as strong as these, or my right hand here is going to play a melody on the congas or the practice pad, while this ostinato, the shaker pattern, is stuck into that pattern. And I have an accent. Now, at some points, what's happening here is my right hand is playing the exact same thing as the accent on the shaker. 1, 1, 1, top, pop, bass, open, bass, open, 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 open. And then at other times is playing the converse, the other side of that. So if this is the 1 and this is 1 and, then that sometimes is playing on the and. 1 and, 1 and, 1 and, 1 and, 1 and. So whereas before I was going same time, boom, forward, forward, and now I'm going forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So if I play both of them, this is more like what it'll be. So forward, and my right hand's playing at the exact same time, and then back. So it's really not so much that I'm just soloing, doing 2 complete different things. It is, but what's practically and technically happening as well is that I'm playing the exact same thing when I'm going forward, and sometimes I'm playing the exact same thing when I'm going back. Okay? Another way that we can explain this is sometimes that I'm playing forward, and then right after the forward, there's another stroke. So it's almost like a double. Doom, 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 doom. So this is playing 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or you could say, and when we count music, we might say 1 and 2 and. Or it might be the downbeat, right, and the upbeat. But let's just say we're counting like 1 and 2 and 3. Well, sometimes I'm playing on the 1 and with this right hand, and then at other times I'm playing on the and. 1 and 1 and 1 and on the 1. 1 1 1. So if we now incorporate both playing on the 1 and then we use variations, in other words, when I say variations, we change it up and we improvise, we make up stuff. We are adding in these different things. So it might sound like this. So if now the band is playing and it's chak, 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 boom, 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 bass, open. So all of these different tones are adding, and it becomes a song all by itself. But if other people are playing, then it's just adding. And so you're listening to what's going on in the whole band scenario. So some exercises maybe to develop that. If you're, for some reason, if you're having a hard time with that, slow it down. Take your time with your shaker pattern. And also learn how to be good with both hands, because there comes a time where you have to switch in the music and pick something up. And you don't want to have to drop, because this might be driving the song or helping. You don't want to have to drop that, that beat, that drive while you're switching hands. So practice. As simple as this may sound, just being able to do it doesn't always equate to mastery. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you've mastered it. So sometimes you might want to just practice that. So anyways, exercises. Slowing down. 1 and 2. Count while you're doing 1 and 2 and 1. We're going to practice. This exercise is playing the same thing with the right hand, or the hand that doesn't have the shaker. Play that hand. Strike the drum at the same time that you count out 1 and you play the shaker 1. And this 1 is going to be away from us. So 1 and 1, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Vary up. Add variations instead of just open. Let's add some bass in that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And this can be an exercise. Now we're going to add another conga in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. If you're having a hard time with this, a good tip is to, when you're warming up, let that be your warm up, as opposed to doing something you already know how to do. It's a great tip to perfect something that you're working on. Okay, so shaker, and practice that with both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then the next exercise, okay, will be to speed up, or I'm sorry, not so much to speed up, but to use doubles with the other hand. 1 and. So what we're going to do is not just on the 1, but we're also going to play on the and. When I say 1, I'm talking about this movement. And when I say and, I'm talking about this